Okay, we're joined now by Cal State Fullerton coach Dedrique Taylor and student athletes Damari Milstead and EJ Anosike. We will start by asking Coach for an opening statement and then open the floor to questions for our student athletes only, after which the student athletes can be excused. Once that segment, we will ask the media to please raise your hand and identify yourself and your media outlet before asking your question. If you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function before you ask your question. Coach, if you can start us off with some thoughts on the game.
My thoughts are these two guys to our left, or my left, just led us to an unbelievable night, 2 nights in a row. Our team defense, when you hold teams to 27% from the floor and 29% from three, I don't know how you lose those games. And tonight, it was a defensive effort. We were connected like no other, and they understood in terms of the maturity that they all have, what their job is and what their role was. And tonight was a total team effort. We executed on both ends of the floor when it mattered. We didn't execute for the full 40 minutes, and that's going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. But again, I thought our guys being connected in their togetherness covered up a lot of stuff against a very good Hawaii team, in my opinion. They shoot the ball really well. They're physical, and they gave us everything that we could handle.
Okay, questions for the student athletes, please, up front.
Brian McInnes, Spectrum News Hawaii. EJ, can you compare this game or maybe contrast this game to the game you guys played on the island? And how did maybe you attack Hawaii differently today than that game?
Honestly, the game on the island we took personal. There was a lot of lessons to be learned, and we came out there and we had to take care of business. We learned from our mistakes. We had to come out, be aggressive, defend the ball, and play our style of basketball. And we got to dictate the game and how we play. And that's just our brand of basketball: toughness, hard working, and compete. When we do all those things, we're a tough team to stop, and that's what we did today.
Hey, Gilbert Montano, Orange County Register. Damari, what does EJ's physical presence in the paint mean for you guys?
It's everything. He's the alpha. We look for him in the beginning of the game. We look for him in the end of the game. His effort was phenomenal today. If you look at his rebounding, EJ's not the biggest, but he got the biggest heart on the court. He had 2-3 guys on his back and rebounding the ball. I feel like today and this whole weekend, he's been extremely important, not only scoring the ball, but being a physical presence for us, rebounding.
And a question for EJ. You had a three-pointer at the end and a nice celebration with your teammates on the bench. What was going through your mind for that?
Shoot.
Guys, Wes Nakama, Warrior Insider. Coach talked about your defensive effort and, in particular, the on-ball pressure and denying the passing lanes. What is the philosophy against a team that can shoot like Hawaii, as far as not getting them into their flow and not giving them open looks?
I would say Hawaii is a great offensive team. They have space and they have rhythm. We wanted to have a disruptive mindset. We wanted to really disrupt them in the elbows, really make it hard for them to get into their sets because they run a lot of sets. So we just wanted to have a disruptive mindset today.
I'm going to say this. Number 0, Dream Adu, he's a hell of a player. I love competing against him. Like the guys, we love competing against him. He plays with his heart. And when we go out to games like that, when we play Hawaii, like he's the hardest sort of their team. So when we play guys like that, we got to step our games up. We got to play with that much heart because he gave everything he got today. But I would definitely give him credit. Like he's really a good dude and he's a good player.
Any more questions on the floor?
Is it still for the players or also for Coach?
Players. Student athletes first.
Okay, sorry. For either Damari or EJ, facing Saturday night at Long Beach State, what are you guys' first impression of that matchup?
Long Beach is the first place in the conference. They're really good at doing what they do. It's no secret what they do. But for this game tomorrow, I feel like we let one go at Long Beach. So if we play how we play, anything can happen.
Okay, we have a question on Zoom. Go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, I'm Anthony Bautista. I'm with the Daily Titan. This is a question for both EJ and Damari. This is the second night in a row that the team has had a scoring drought of at least 4 minutes in the second half, but the team's managed to remain ahead in both scenarios. What's going through your guys' mind in that in those scenarios, and how are you guys able to remain composed?
Damn, we had some orange draws? I didn't know. But at the end of the day, it's a 40-minute game. We're both fifth-year guys. We've been around this game long enough that it's a game of runs. Sometimes you might not make shots. Sometimes you make shots. So we just got to stay consistent with what we do. As long as we get great looks, we put the work in, night out, day in and day out. So once we get our good looks, we're going to knock them down. And that's just our style of basketball. We take high percentage shots. But it starts on the defensive end. When we get styles, we can run with the best of them. And that's easy offense. So it's times like that when we get in droughts, we got to turn our defense up and get some easy baskets.
And to piggyback on EJ, the score is 58-46, so I would imagine there's a lot of stops. There's a lot of stops out there. But, just fight for good looks. Hawaii, they're a good defensive team. But, one thing that I was proud of our unit was even though we wasn't scoring the ball, we defended. We still defended. Defense wins championships, and our defense is at an all-time high right now.
All right, guys, we appreciate your time. Coach, if you can stay for some questions. We have a couple minutes for time for Coach.
Hey, Coach Taylor, after the game against Hawaii on Oahu, you spoke a little bit about contenders and pretenders at that point in the season, and you weren't sure what you guys were at that point in time. What made you convinced that you guys were a contender, and when did that happen?
It happened right after the Hawaii game, quite frankly, and the two guys to my left, they made it happen. Their maturity and their experience. We had to go through some things, and we had to learn some lessons. And that was one night where we learned a tremendous amount about ourselves. And no disrespect to Hawaii, they took us behind the shed and beat the heck out of us. And because they did that, it caused us to really, really self-examine ourselves and look at ourselves. And then also we talk about it. It's not cool to just hold it in. You gotta get it off your chest, and then you have to understand when it's off your chest what's important of those things. And I thought we established that night, and this group has responded the right way, and they have since then become contenders.
Coach, it's 1 versus 2 tomorrow night against Long Beach State. What are you expecting for that game tomorrow?
I expect two teams that play totally different. Long Beach State has their style. We have our style. And I think whoever imposes their will on the game will win out. But I think two contrasting styles that both teams know how to create that atmosphere. And so whoever's will is imposed on the game consistently, I think, has a good chance to win tomorrow.
It seems Hawaii last night really played took advantage of second chance points, offensive rebounds. Was that an emphasis today?
No doubt.
Trying to keep, especially a guy like Jerome who kind of sneaks in there all the time.
No doubt. That was a huge emphasis in terms of we understood they're going to run their stuff, and we wanted to do some different things to disrupt them. But in my opinion, there was a game within the game, and it was the rebounding. Like, as much as you want to talk about all their actions and what they do, they send size to the glass, 3 guys to the glass, and we had to contend with that. And that was a big point of emphasis for us. We still ended up losing the rebounding battle, but that was a huge point of emphasis for us.
Coach, I think you guys jumped out to like a 9-2 lead early on. Like you said, with Hawaii being as dangerous like they are, do you think it was important to establish yourselves as the aggressor and come out fast out of the gate?
Yeah, I think it was really, really important, more so for this group. Again, no disrespect to Hawaii, but more so for this group. They needed to understand they had an unbelievable energy about them that was able to be seen by their actions. And that I thought was really, really good for them to understand, okay, we can do this, but also notice we did the same thing at Hawaii. We jumped out on Hawaii, and all of a sudden they made a push back. And so, again, learning those lessons that we, that we learn, I think is really important. And tonight, we took advantage of those things in terms of establishing ourselves early, but maintaining a level of defensive mindedness and rebounding that, in my opinion, was the difference.
We have one more question on Zoom, please. Go ahead.
Hi, Coach. So this is your third Big West final in the last 4 editions of this tournament. Can you talk about the impact that has on this program tonight and moving forward?
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That is crazy. I think it says a lot about this program. It says a lot about the guys. It says a lot about our staff. It says a lot about all the people that participate in our program to get us to this point. We can't do it by ourselves. Nobody can, and I think it's a total team effort. Again, I'm at a loss for words in terms of this is our third. What did you say? Our third time being in the Big West
So this
Conference
is the third
Championship.
time in the last 4 editions of the tournament.
Yeah, man. I mean, that says a lot about who this program has become. It didn't start that way, and we've had a lot of bumps and bruises to get to this point. And it says a lot about the kids. It says a lot about those young men. They believe in each other like no other. The staff, they believe in each other. They're connected, and the benefit is our success.
Great. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Okay. I'll see you guys. Thank you. Thanks.